Russell Simmons, the hip-hop mogul and entrepreneur from Queens, New York, founded Def Jam music label alongside friend Rick Rubin in the 80s. The label went on to become one of the top labels in the music industry, responsible for acts like LL Cool J, the Beastie Boys, and Run DMC. Russell would later bring in Lear Cohen, and the list of artists would soon grow to acts like Nice and Smooth, EPMD, Redman, Onyx, Warren G, and many more. Rubin and Simmons began to disagree over Cohen's decisions, and Rubin soon left the company to open his own. That didn't stop Simmons and Cohen from continuing to build the Def Jam label, continuing to sign acts like DMX, Ludacris, Method Man, Jay-Z, Ja Rule, and more. Throughout the years, Simmons dabbled in many ventures, including numerous movies. Fashion, starting and running one of the biggest fashion labels of the 90s, Phat Farm. In 1992, Simmons meets high school model Kimora Lee. She alleges that she was 17 and he was 36. The two were soon married and welcomed 2 children. Kimora, heavily into fashion, branched off his Phat Farm label, creating Baby Phat, a label designed more for women. Baby Phat went on to become one of the top labels of the 90s as well. In 2004, Russell sold both labels to the Kelwood Company for $140 million. And in 1999, he then sold his stake at Def Jam Records for $100 million. However, he stayed on as chairman of Def Jam and Def Soul. By then, Rush Communications became the umbrella group for all of Simmons' ventures. In the 2000s, these included an energy soda called DEFCON 3, a wireless phone he designed for Motorola that sold for $549, a joint venture with the top Manhattan advertising agency, a sneaker company with his brother, and the Rush Card, a prepaid Visa debit card aimed at the 45 million Americans who did not have checking account or access to credit cards. The vegan and advocate for plant-based living, has practiced veganism since 1997. Simmons wrote the Happy Vegan book, a chronicle of his journey into veganism. Russell went on to write several books throughout the years. He practices yoga daily and makes all his employees read the 7 Spiritual Laws of Success by Deepak Chopra, and then submit a report on the book. I surround myself with people that share the same spirituality that I believe in, he said. Throughout his career, Simmons has also been involved in numerous philanthropic endeavors. Russell Simmons and Kimora Lee Simmons announced their separation in 2006. The couple officially divorced in 2008 due to irreconcilable differences. They've remained civil and co-parented for many years. In 2007, Lee began dating actor Jimin Hounsoo, and in January 2009, she revealed she was pregnant with Hounsoo's child. Simmons was supportive of the relationship. He's a wonderful guy, a very sweet guy. I want her to be happy no matter what, Simmons told People in 2007. Lee and Hounsoo split in 2012. She then married investment banker Tim Leissner. Russell made a public tweet stating how much he loved her new husband and that he was family. However, that didn't last long, because by May 2021, Vanity Fair reported that Simmons was taking Lee and Leissner to court, accusing them of fraud. Simmons claimed Lee and Leissner conspired to fraudulently transfer nearly $4 million of his shares of the energy drink company Celsius to their accounts in order to pay Leissner's $44 million bail fee from a 2018 money laundering case in which he pleaded guilty. Lee filed a countersuit against Simmons in July, and in November 2022, Simmons was ordered to pay Lee over $100,000 after a judge ruled he had to pay her law fees. The case is still ongoing. Since the year 1989, there have been over 18 women to accuse Russell Simmons of sexual misconduct and rape. Sherry Hines was a member of the rap group Mercedes Ladies, so she had met Simmons as a fellow participant in the hip-hop scene in 1989. In a December interview with the Los Angeles Times, she alleged that she ran into Simmons at a club, where he invited her to visit his nearby office.
And I had ran into Russell, and he asked me to come to his new office. And in my thought, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go because I want to know why you did Mercedes, why you did us wrong. Next thing you know, I'm being pinned down, and I'm like, no, get off of me. Like, what are you doing?
She later used the alleged incident as the basis for a rape scene in her 2008 novel Mercedes Ladies. "I felt embarrassed. I felt used, worthless," Hines told Megyn Kelly. 1988 to 1989. Simmons allegedly assaults both Lisa Kirk and Tony Sally. In a December interview with the Los Angeles Times, Lisa Kirk alleged that Simmons followed her into a nightclub bathroom in 1988 and attempted to assault her. "I smashed into the wall," Kirk said. "It tore my clothes." She had previously dated one of Simmons' friends, but she was scared to tell him about the alleged incident. Instead, she hoped to make it go away. In that same month, Tony Sally, a journalist who knew Simmons through her work for the magazine Black Radio Exclusive, alleged to the New York Times that Simmons assaulted or acted inappropriately towards her twice during this period. In 1988, Simmons allegedly invited her over to his apartment under the pretense that he was throwing a party and then sexually assaulted her. "He pushed me on the bed and jumped on top of me and physically attacked me," she claimed, adding that she believed it was rape. Sally also alleged that Simmons followed her into a woman's bathroom at a music conference the following year when she was an employee for Warner Brothers. She managed to escape to her room, she says, where she barricaded the door. 1991. Simmons allegedly sexually assaults 4 women. In a November interview published by the Los Angeles Times, the model Carrie Clausen colleague alleged that Simmons coerced her into performing oral sex on him at his apartment when she was 17 while director Brett Ratner watched. That November, screenwriter Jenny Lou Met alleged that Simmons raped her in his apartment, also in 1991. Another woman who wished to remain anonymous alleged that Simmons also assaulted her at his apartment during 1991. She met with the NYPD to provide information about the alleged incident. Tina B., an aspiring artist that sang backing vocals on records by Madonna and Bruce Springsteen, met Simmons at a nightclub in late 1990. She told the New York Times he invited her back to his apartment to discuss her career. When she arrived at his apartment, she added, "It all got really ugly pretty fast," alleging that Simmons overpowered her and raped her. In a November interview with the Los Angeles Times, aspiring model Tanya Reid alleged that she encountered Simmons and Brett Ratner at a hotel in Miami where she worked, and they proceeded to call her and verbally harass her. "I remember this very, very clearly. The exact words he said on the phone," she recalled. "He wanted me to come upstairs so Brett could hold me down and he could perform oral sex." She also alleges that Ratner later coerced her into performing oral sex on him. Simmons hired Drew Dixon as an A&R in 1994. In the following year, she was tasked with putting together the soundtrack for the show, a new hip-hop documentary. The soundtrack debuted at number 4 on the Billboard 200 albums chart and spawned the Method Man and Redman hit How High. Dixon remembers that Simmons offered her a small raise and promotion as thanks. "I just felt used, demoralized," she said. Dixon alleged that Simmons also repeatedly sexually harassed her at work. "Fighting his explicit advances was exhausting," she said. "It was like making a record while swimming in rough seas." She also alleged that Simmons overpowered her and raped her at his apartment in 1995. "The last thing I remember was him pinning me down to kiss me on the bed." She told the Times that she does not believe she was drugged, but that she had blocked out the experience. She left her job as a result. In an interview with the Los Angeles Times, actress Natasha Williams-Block alleged that Simmons attempted to force her to perform oral sex on him after the two attended a yoga class together. Williams-Block, then a freshman at UCLA, said that to escape the situation, she informed Simmons she had to attend a study hall. 2005. Simmons allegedly exposes himself to massage therapist Aaron Beatty. Simmons booked Beatty for a massage while staying at the Alexis Hotel in Seattle, the Los Angeles Times reports. Roughly halfway through the hour-long massage, Beatty alleged that he exposed himself to her. "He was like, 'Do you want to work this out?' she said. He just expected that was what was going to happen. He couldn't believe I would say no." 2014. Simmons allegedly gropes Christina Moore. In an interview with the New York Times, Moore alleged that Simmons pretended that he was showing her and a friend the way to the bar of the Soho Beach house in Miami, but instead guided them to his apartment. Then Moore alleged that Simmons ran his hands all over my body, up and down. "I felt assaulted," she added. She and her friend ran away from the room. "I would hate to think what would have happened if I were alone," she said. 2016. Simmons allegedly makes inappropriate comments to Amanda Seales and allegedly rapes Jennifer Yurosik. Amanda Seales, known for her role on the HBO hit show Insecure, alleged that Simmons made inappropriate comments to her during what was supposed to be a business meeting at All Dev Digital in 2016. Seals accused Simmons of using vulgar language to ask if they had ever had sex. That same year, aspiring filmmaker Jennifer Yarosik alleged that Simmons asked her to meet him at his LA home in 2016 to discuss her career. She alleges that he pounced on her and proceeded to rape her. She tried suing him for $5 million in damages, but in 2018, she dropped her $5 million suit against Simmons. Simmons responded to Yarosik's suit, filed in January, by arguing that the sexual relationship between the two was consensual. Weeks later, Yarosik changed tack and filed a joint stipulation of dismissal along with Simmons. Mr. Simmons is hereby dismissed with prejudice from this action in its entirety, the document read. An attorney for Yarosik did not reply to a request for comment. Well, it doesn't stop there. Journalist and domestic violence activist Sylvie Abrams alleges she had been friends with Simmons and briefly worked at Def Jam as an executive assistant. She claimed in a June 2018 Hollywood Reporter story that Simmons raped her while she was drunk. The next morning, Abrams said she swallowed several sleeping pills and called Simmons, telling him, "I hope you know for the rest of your life that you made me kill myself." Her life was saved when a friend was able to get her to the hospital in time. Publicist and TV personality Kelly Cutrone accused Simmons of attempting to rape her in 1991. She told Page Six in December 2017 that she and Simmons, an acquaintance, were walking from one party to another when he allegedly tricked her into going to his apartment by claiming he needed to stop by a friend's place. She claims he then attempted to rape her, but she was able to fight him off and flee the apartment. An instructor who worked at Simmons' Los Angeles yoga studio told the Los Angeles Times in the same story that he harassed her, repeatedly asking her on dates even though she was in a relationship. The environment at the studio was described to the LA Times by a former manager, Karen Russell. Simmons' attorney told the publication that she was a disgruntled former employee. In 2017, it seemed things start to fall down for Simmons as he steps down from his businesses. Following Jenny Lumet's account of Simmons' alleged assault in The Hollywood Reporter, he announced plans to step down from his various corporate roles. "This is a time of great transition," he said in a statement. "The voices of the voiceless, those who have been hurt or shamed, deserve and need to be heard. As the corridors of power inevitably make way for a new generation, I don't want to be a distraction, so I'm removing myself from the businesses that I founded." HBO also severed all ties with Simmons and removed his name from all Def Comedy. 2018. Oprah Winfrey removed Simmons' quotes from her advice book. Simmons was one of several others to contribute to Oprah Winfrey's 2017 book, The Wisdom of Sundays. However, Winfrey and her publisher recently announced that Simmons' passages will not appear in future editions of her book. As the sexual assault claims began to pile up, Simmons began spending time in Bali around 2018. An unnamed accuser told The Blast that he fled to Indonesia, which has no extradition treaty, in an apparent attempt to protect himself. Allegedly, Simmons' team denied the claims, telling the outlet, "Mr. Simmons has been in and out of the United States 6 times in the last year and will be back for his child's graduation." Since then, Simmons has been seen around Bali as he continues to practice yoga, referring to himself as a Christian yogi. In 2020, HBO released a documentary called On the Record. It was about the allegations on Simmons, and it featured Drew Dixon, Sylvie Abrams, Sherry Sher, Alexia Norton-Jones, Kelly Cutrone, Tina Baker, Carrie Kloss-Sinkaligi, and one anonymous woman who shared their harrowing experiences in the music industry. In total, the documentary refers to 20 different women who have accused Simmons of sexual assault and misconduct. In 2018, an anonymous woman filed a $10 million lawsuit against Simmons, alleging he raped her in a hotel room after inviting her to a party following a concert. According to The Hollywood Reporter, a judge has ruled that the allegation falls outside the statute of limitations. The Los Angeles Superior Court entered judgment in favor of Simmons on the grounds that Jane Doe's claims were from an alleged incident in 1988 and were therefore past the statute of limitations. They found that she would have needed to file her claim in 1990, or if she argued that Simmons didn't permanently live in the state at the time, it would need to be filed by 2014. Jane Doe had 2 weeks to file in opposition to the motion, and when she did not, the judge ruled in Simmons' favor. Simmons said in a statement, "I vehemently deny all the allegations made against me. They have shocked me to my core, as I have never been abusive or violent in any way in my relations with women. I have submitted myself to multiple lie detector tests. I denied forced sex and sexual harassment allegations brought against me in each test. I also answered no to the question, have you ever physically forced any woman to have sexual intercourse? I passed all of the lie detector tests. Simmons also took to his Instagram and Twitter to post this. A post with the hashtag, not me. Back in 2017, at the height of the Me Too and Time's Up movements, a surprising victim came forward to tell his story of sexual assault, none other than Terry Crews. Many were shocked and flat out dismissed his claims due to his overpowering stature, and Crews never hesitated to call them out. One of those he exposed was Russell Simmons, who he revealed told him to give the guy a pause for groping his genitalia at a party. Crews got on Twitter and directly called out D.L. Hughley, Simmons, 50 Cent, and Tariq Nasheed for their initial and continued responses to his sexual assault. You, 50 Cent, Russell Simmons, and Tariq Nasheed have decided my sexual assault was hilarious, whereas there are a whole generation of black women and men who don't think it's funny. Abusers protect abusers, but they mock survivors as well. When you see me, keep it moving. For Father's Day, this year, 2023, Simmons' daughter wished her mom a happy Father's Day, and not her dad. The next day, Russell took to his social media with this post that seemed to target his ex-wife, Kimora Simmons. Stop telling fathers they should have fought harder to see their children, and start asking mothers why he had to fight at all, the post read. Kimora, 48, took to her own Instagram story to share details behind the family tension, where she lobbed serious allegations against the father of her two children, Ming Lee, 23, and Aoki Lee, 20. I'm so sorry to have to do this, she wrote, but this man has been threatening my kids' lives. I'm hearing so much more now. We won't be bullied, threatened, or afraid. She posted a series of Instagram stories as well. She went on Instagram Live and spoke about her frustrations with Russell. Before continuing her statement, she included a screen recording of a FaceTime conversation between Russell and his youngest daughter, Aoki, and though the sound was turned off, he appears to be screaming at her while she talks back in between tears. The next day, Aoki Lee responded to the Def Jam founder's claims by releasing a series of heated text messages and video chats, which have since been deleted, with her dad. My father is not well. For years, he needs help and won't accept that. He refuses to acknowledge he is not himself, she captioned the now deleted video. He has threatened and bullied my sister, my grandma. He has harassed my grandma in the middle of the night in poor health and sent a man to my sister's apartment at 2 a.m. to scare her. He lashes out at anyone who does not say, "Ooh, Russell, everything is fine." Well, it's not fine, his daughter stated. The next day, Russell seemingly posted on his social media to his daughters apologizing for being frustrated and yelling, "God is testing you a little bit. It's okay. Be strong." Simmons wrote through a series of ellipses. They are called growing pains. As you know, we grow through adversity and struggle. You read my books and heard me preach your whole childhood. Reach back to old lessons and remember, smile and breathe, smile and breathe. You are the watchers of this world. So let go. Be at ease. God is driving and he is working on you. I'm deeply sorry for being frustrated and yelling, but know this, there are no conditions. For sure, I love you guys more than I love myself, is what's stated in his post. In wake of the 50th anniversary of hip-hop, one of Russell's invested companies, Gush Cloud, held a celebration honoring Simmons in the cathedral in Singapore, where Snoop Dogg's son, Cordell, gave the honors. Russell is still in Bali and has not returned back to the United States since. Thanks for watching. Please hit the like and subscribe button to see more. And if you enjoyed this, please give it a share.